Asian unicorn. Imagine an animal so rare and mysterious that it is called the Asian unicorn. It hides deep in the dense forests of Vietnam and Laos, avoiding human eyes. Spotting one is like winning the lottery. Today, we're going to tell you about the saola, one of the most enigmatic creatures on the planet. In 1992, a group of scientists ventured deep into the forests of Vietnam in search of new species. At some point, they stumbled upon strange horns resembling those of an antelope, but belonging to no known species. This was the first evidence of the saola's existence. However, seeing one alive turned out to be nearly impossible. Since its discovery, it has only been photographed a handful of times. The saola looks like a mix between an antelope and a wild ox. Its slender body is covered in smooth brown fur, and on its head rise long, almost straight horns that can reach up to 50 centimeters in length. Despite its size, the saola is a master of camouflage and stealth. It leads a solitary life, moving along narrow trails deep in the jungle. The main reason for its rarity is its habitat. The saola lives only in remote mountainous forests, making it incredibly difficult to track. Additionally, its population is shrinking due to deforestation and poaching. While hunters don't target the saola directly, it often falls into traps set for other animals. Conservationists are sounding the alarm. The saola's population is so small that the species could disappear within a few decades. Scientists are actively searching for these animals to develop a breeding program in protected areas. However, they don't even know how many saolas remain in the wild. Possibly only a few dozen. Okapi. Imagine walking through the dense rainforests of the Congo, surrounded by towering trees and the distant sounds of exotic birds. Suddenly, you catch a glimpse of an animal that looks like a mix between a giraffe and a zebra. No, your eyes aren't deceiving you. This is the elusive okapi, one of the most mysterious creatures on the planet. For centuries, the okapi was nothing more than a legend. Indigenous people of the Congo spoke of a strange forest-dwelling animal, but no one outside their communities had ever seen it. Explorers dismissed these stories as myths, much like tales of unicorns or dragons. It wasn't until 1901 that the Western world finally recognized the okapi as a real species, thanks to British explorer Sir Harry Johnston, who obtained a skin and skull from local hunters. The okapi is a truly unique animal. At first glance, its striped legs resemble those of a zebra, but its long neck and body structure are more similar to a giraffe, which makes sense considering they are close relatives. Despite this resemblance, the okapi is much smaller, standing about 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder. Its deep brown fur is incredibly soft and acts as natural camouflage in the dimly lit rainforest, but the okapi's most fascinating feature is its tongue. Measuring up to 45 centimeters, this long, flexible tongue helps it grab leaves from trees and even clean its own ears. Just like giraffes, okapis are herbivores, feeding on leaves, fruits, and fungi. They are also extremely shy and secretive, making them incredibly difficult to study in the wild. One of the reasons the okapi remained hidden for so long is its remote habitat. It lives deep in the Ituri rainforest of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a dense and often dangerous environment. The okapi is also a solitary animal, preferring to roam alone rather than in herds. Even today, spotting an okapi in the wild is an extremely rare event. Unfortunately, like many rare animals, the okapi faces serious threats. Habitat destruction due to deforestation and illegal mining has significantly reduced its population. Additionally, poaching remains a concern despite conservation efforts. The Okapi Wildlife Reserve, established to protect these incredible animals, is one of the few places where they are actively monitored and studied. The okapi is a living symbol of the unknown wonders that still exist in our world. Despite modern technology, there are still creatures out there that remain hidden, waiting to be discovered. Who knows what other mysterious animals are lurking deep in the untouched jungles of our planet? coconut crab. Imagine stepping onto a tropical island where the sound of crashing waves fills the air, and the dense jungle hides creatures that seem straight out of a sci-fi movie. But among all the exotic animals, there's one that stands out, a monster of the crustacean world. Meet the coconut crab, also known as the palm thief. This is no ordinary crab. It's the largest land-dwelling arthropod on Earth, with some individuals growing up to a meter in length and weighing over 4 kilograms. Its massive claws are so powerful that they can crack open coconuts, a feat that even some primates struggle with. But how did this incredible creature evolve to become the king of the land-dwelling crustaceans? Unlike most crabs, which scuttle along the ocean floor, the coconut crab has abandoned the sea for a life on land. However, it still has one connection to the water. Its larvae hatch in the ocean and spend their early days drifting in the currents. But once they mature, they leave the ocean forever. Instead of gills, adult coconut crabs develop a special organ called the branchiostegal lung, allowing them to breathe air. If submerged in water for too long, they can actually drown. With their powerful legs and claws, they are expert climbers, often scaling trees with ease. They do this not just for safety, but to reach their favorite food, coconuts. Using their crushing grip, they break the tough shell, tear it apart, and feast on the nutritious meat inside. In fact, their claw strength is one of the most powerful in the animal kingdom, capable of exerting a force of over 3,000 newtons, stronger than a lion's bite. Despite their love for coconuts, these crabs are far from being gentle herbivores. They are opportunistic scavengers and, at times, ruthless hunters. They feed on fruits, nuts, carrion, and even small animals. Some researchers have even witnessed coconut crabs attacking live birds and stealing eggs from nests. Their night vision is exceptional, allowing them to hunt in complete darkness. Because of their size and strength, coconut crabs have become the subject of island folklore. Some islanders believe they are spirits of the dead, while others see them as harbingers of bad luck. There is even a chilling theory that these crabs might have played a role in one of history's greatest mysteries, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Some scientists speculate that her remains, lost on a remote island, may have been scattered and consumed by coconut crabs. While unproven, it adds an eerie layer to their reputation. So next time you picture a tropical paradise, remember, hidden in the shadows, climbing the trees, and lurking in the night, the coconut crab reigns as the undisputed giant of the crustacean world. Mudskipper. In the muddy swamps and mangrove forests of Asia and Africa, where the boundary between land and water blurs, lives a creature that seems to defy evolution itself. This is the mudskipper, an amphibious fish that has mastered both land and sea, blurring the lines between what it means to be a fish. Unlike most fish which are bound to water, the mudskipper spends much of its life crawling on land. Using its strong, muscular pectoral fins, it propels itself forward in a series of skips and jumps, moving more like a frog than a fish. It can even climb roots and low branches, an ability almost unheard of in the fish world. But how does a fish breathe on land? The mudskipper has developed a unique dual respiratory system. It can extract oxygen from the water through its gills, but when on land, it relies on moist skin and a special air chamber in its gill cavities, which holds enough oxygen to survive outside water for extended periods. In fact, a mudskipper can spend hours on land, as long as its skin remains damp. Mudskippers are not just skilled climbers and jumpers, they are also fierce fighters. Males are highly territorial, engaging in dramatic battles where they raise their bodies, flare their gill covers, and try to intimidate or push each other back. These battles are essential for establishing dominance, as stronger males gain better access to food and mates. Speaking of mates, mudskippers have an unusual approach to reproduction. A male will dig a deep, muddy burrow, which becomes a safe haven for eggs. But here's the fascinating part. Since mud burrows can have low oxygen levels, The male will repeatedly gulp air at the surface and release it into the burrow, creating a breathable environment for the developing eggs. It's a rare example of parental care in fish. Despite their odd and fascinating adaptations, mudskippers face growing threats. Mangrove forests, their primary habitat, are rapidly disappearing due to deforestation and human expansion. As these wetlands vanish, so do the creatures that depend on them. The mudskipper is a living reminder of how life can adapt in the most unexpected ways. It challenges our perception of what a fish should be, proving that nature never follows the rules. It rewrites them. Chinese giant salamander. Deep in the cold, fast-flowing mountain rivers of China lurks a creature that seems to have emerged from prehistoric times. The Chinese giant salamander is the largest amphibian in the world, capable of growing up to 1.8 meters in length and weighing over 50 kilograms. With its slimy, wrinkled skin and small, lidless eyes, it looks like something from another era, because it is. This species has remained virtually unchanged for millions of years, making it a living fossil. Despite its size, the giant salamander is a master of stealth. It spends most of its life hidden beneath rocks and submerged logs, waiting patiently for prey to come close. Using special sensory nodes on its body, it detects vibrations in the water, allowing it to sense movement even in complete darkness. When it strikes, it does so with surprising speed, swallowing fish, insects, and even small mammals whole. But perhaps the most unsettling fact about this giant amphibian is the sound it makes. When threatened or distressed, the Chinese giant salamander emits a high-pitched cry that eerily resembles a human baby's wail. This has led to countless myths and legends among local villagers, some believing the creature to be a spirit of the water or a lost soul. Unfortunately, despite its incredible adaptations, the Chinese giant salamander is now critically endangered. Centuries of habitat destruction, pollution, and overhunting have devastated its population. In China, it has been considered a delicacy and a symbol of status, leading to widespread poaching. Today, efforts are being made to captive breed and reintroduce them into the wild, but the future of the species remains uncertain. The Chinese giant salamander is a reminder of Earth's ancient past, a creature that has survived mass extinctions and drastic environmental changes. But now, in a world it has inhabited for millions of years, it faces its greatest threat yet: humans. Will this giant of the rivers disappear forever? Or can conservation efforts save one of nature's most extraordinary survivors? If you enjoyed this journey into the world of Earth's rarest creatures, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more incredible wildlife stories. Every species has a story to tell, and together we can help keep their legacy alive. Stay curious, and see you in the next adventure.